It is the discovery of the wealth, seemingly locked in the Earth's crust, which has always been the key to a better future. It is by extracting, refining, casting and forging these raw materials, these minerals, that we change both our world and our ways of life. This is the story of planning for efficiency and productivity, of subjecting enthusiasm and imagination to scientific disciplines. Palabora means challenge, achievement, opportunity, partnership, and promise for all.
For every ton of refined copper you get out, you have to mine 1,000 tons of ore and waste material. Because of the scale of the operation involved, for a long time it was said to be impossible. Finally, 25 years ago, the Rio Tinto Zinc Corporation decided to have a crack at it. And they, together with the help of a company called the Newmont Mining Corporation, got together to form a team called the Palabora Mining Company, and to give it a go here at Lulakop, the Hill of Copper.
In 1956, the Palabora Mining Company was registered. Work started 6 months ahead of schedule on a rocky outcrop called Lulakop. Right from the start, it was obvious that to mine the vast but low-grade ore body was going to take a unique mixture of technical skill, efficiency, and vision. The original plan called for a conventional open-cast mine producing blister and alloyed copper on a modest scale. But already plans for expansion were on the drawing board. 2 months after the smelter came into production, it was decided that Palabora should become South Africa's first source of electrolytically refined copper, and work was started on the refinery. In the words of Palabora Mining Company's director and general manager, Ed Hunt, "We knew there were problems, but we overcame them. The complexity of the ore body required difficult and challenging mining and processing techniques, some never tried before in Africa. Large sums of money had to be found, and investment capital tapped to raise the 74 million rand, or $103.6 million US needed to finance the project. All this before we produced an ounce of saleable copper. The secret of the success was detailed planning in the project stage. Everything had to be worked out and costed. The contracts negotiated for selling the products and used as backing for part of the needed finance. Partners found to raise more finance, and government backing sought for the whole enterprise. Then every section would come on stream as part of an agreed and integrated plan."
The Palabora concept that emerged was bold and it was big, and so was the schedule that came along with it, to bring the mine into full production in 2.5 years. Almost 1 million cubic meters of earthworks, 100,000 cubic meters of concrete, 15,000 tons of steel, train loads of pipe went into Palabora. Equipment was big, and it came from all over the world: the United States, Canada, Britain, Japan, and of course South Africa. But everything fit and everything worked, and Palabora went into production 2 months ahead of schedule.
Palabora pulled it off, as you can see. Lulakop is no longer here. In its place, the second largest open pit operation in the world. Today, the company produces all the refined copper needed to meet South Africa's demands, plus about as much again for export, in one of the lowest cost copper operations in the world. Many copper mines working a richer grade of ore have gone through tough times and even closed down in recent years. Why has Palabora been such a success? It's probably the perfect combination of plant, processes, and people.
The idea is to drill, blast and load in such a way that you carve out 15-meter working benches. Mining 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, the pit crews mine around 355,000 tons of rock every day.
Yeah, it is all right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
A blast the size of that one breaks about 350,000 tons of rock. That's enough to bury 25 football fields knee-deep. That electric face shovel is the biggest operating in Africa. Confidently handled by operator Jordan Feledi, each bite of its 19 cubic meter bucket weighs around 50 tons. In one 8-hour shift, that's roughly 17,000 tons of material loaded. Handling one in the fleet of 68 150-ton diesel-electric haul trucks, for Golden and Kwasha, each day's trucking is more than 2,000 tons of material hauled. As ratings go, this truck and shovel operation is the second largest in the world. A lot of people and machines are moving around this pit area at any one time, so safety and efficient traffic flow are damned important. Hard hats and safety glasses are worn at all times. And vehicles authorized to enter the pit area carry orange flags on long poles like this one, so that they're readily visible to the haul truck drivers. Idle truck and shovel time are cut to a minimum by a computer-operated dispatch system, which tells drivers returning to the pit which shovel needs their truck most urgently.
Hardloop vir my daarso by 115, jy stuur vir my 'n trok van 115 af, dat ek kom 112.
Loaded trucks leave the pit at a rate of 1 every 33 seconds, winding up incline roads to waste dumps and crushers. As the pit gets deeper, the roads get longer, and more trucks are needed to get the material out at the same rate. After 15 years in an operation this size, you've got 23 90-ton and 68 150-ton electrohauls doing the job. And with the phasing out of the 90-tonners already underway, during the next few years, the fleet will be standardized on 150-ton models. A fourth 19 cubic meter shovel is also on order to replace 5 of the smallest shovels in the outfit. Take a look at the size of that wheel, and you'll get a fair idea of the size of the backup service to this operation. That's a lot of rubber, almost 3 tons in fact. There are 6 of those to a truck, about 50,000 rands worth, and they last on average about 6 months. The haul truck fleet also uses a lot of diesel fuel, more than 50 million litres a year. The latest fuel-saving innovation we're looking at is an overhead trolley assist system which feeds electricity direct to the wheel motors of the trucks. This is the test section we've set up. Tests have shown that each loaded haul truck, in climbing out of the pit, uses 24 litres of diesel per kilometre in the normal diesel-electric mode. This is reduced to about 3 litres of diesel per kilometre when trolley assist is used. Based on the success of these tests, Palabora has committed itself to the 12 million rand installation of the first phase of the project, which is expected to save up to 20 million litres of diesel a year when completed at the end of 1981. It's the kind of cost consciousness motivating this trolley assist project that has kept our operation among the most economic in the world, with its highly competitive metals markets. Although the main mining incentive at Palabora is copper, small amounts of a variety of minerals are present in the ore body. This geological formation is, in fact, unique in the world because of this. Palabora exploits the ore fully, recovering magnetite, uranium, zirconium, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and nickel as byproducts to the copper process.
Palabora today is designed to move more than 2,000 million tons of rock over its life, which is more than 3 times the original plan. The milling rate has gone up 2.5 times, and the mine will still have 50% more life than was originally intended.
Big things are happening at Palabora. In fact, while this film was being made, Palabora set a world record for rock loaded and hauled in a single day, 521,000 tons. The increased mining activity has also seen single blasts break more than 3 million tons of rock at a time. And Palabora today is the bustling commercial hub of a sophisticated community. No other major copper producer conducts all these operations in such a closely integrated complex. Uranium, vermiculite, magnetite, sulfates, a variety of minerals and precious metals, all byproducts marketed to make the Palabora mining and processing operation more viable. 115,000 tons of refined copper to meet South Africa's total annual demand and supply world markets, bringing in valuable foreign exchange. Whichever way you look at it, it's not bad going. 99.98% pure copper, mined from a low-grade ore body in an economically viable operation. A triumph for the people of Palabora. When we started up years ago, skeptics said it could never be done. They were wrong. We pulled it off. And 25 years from now, we'll still be here. Our present open pit mining plan takes us to the year 1997. But there's a lot more copper down there. And already we're looking for ways and means of carrying the Palabora vision well into the 21st century.
Every day, 6 days a week, year in and year out, over 250,000 tons of rock has to be mined and moved. One of the realities that all mines must face is that as they go deeper, so the costs of getting the ore out of the ground rise. But in spite of this, Palabora is still one of the lowest cost operations of its kind. One of the ways in which costs had been contained is by upgrading the equipment to take advantage of the economy of size and reduce congestion at the workface. The original 4.5 cubic meter mining shovels had been replaced by larger ones of 19 and 23 cubic meter capacity. 154-ton capacity diesel-electric vehicles have also superseded the 59-ton trucks. These trucks are expensive to buy and operate. So to make best use of them, this sophisticated dispatch system was installed. The computer that controls it keeps track of the activities of the many trucks and great shovels that they serve. It coordinates them for maximum productivity and also provides up-to-the-minute information to the operators. Fuel consumption was heavy, almost 3.5 million litres each month, and projected to double as the mine went deeper. So when the OPEC crisis pushed the price of oil up, something had to be done. Fortunately, the price of electrical energy in South Africa is among the lowest in the world. To take advantage of this, the trolley assist system was introduced. When a vehicle reaches the main haulage way, the driver, in his air-conditioned cab, raises a pair of pantographs that draw power from the overhead trolley wires and feed it directly into the wheel motors. Consumption drops dramatically, from 24 litres to less than half a litre per kilometre. As an added bonus, the truck's speed is almost doubled. By 1987, the annual saving was 27 million litres of fuel. By 1986, in spite of all the economies, the price of rock haulage has risen until it was more than all the other costs combined. So the time has come for the mine to take another step forward. Work started on a project that would place a large primary crusher in the pit itself. This means that instead of being trucked all the way up to ground level, ore could be crushed and fed onto a conveyor belt, travelling in a tunnel leading to the surface. It would mean a considerable saving. The mine works around the clock. 3 times a day, the trucks gather together as the one shift comes off and another takes its place. Over 70% of the employees belong to the National Union of Mine Workers. A far cry from the days when there were no trade unions. Palabora is among the many companies that bore pressure on the government to amend restrictive legislation. Every job on the mine is being graded according to the International Patterson Evaluation System, and this is the sole criteria when it comes to pay and position. The result is a skilled and efficient staff, which is a very important factor in keeping the costs down, not only in the mine, but also in the plant. 30 years ago, the town of Palabora was little more than a post office with a few trading stores. Today, it's a thriving community, the commercial center of the region, thanks largely to the income generated through the mine. It is a measure of Palabora's success that 1 out of every 4 people working at the mine 20 years ago is still with the company today. In that 20 years, Palabora has come a long way. When the mine started in 1965, many people said it wouldn't work. They were wrong. It has thrived, in spite of low copper prices and world surpluses. In the process, it has evolved from relatively humble beginnings into a major mineral processing complex. And thanks to its technical and social achievements, Palabora is looking ahead confidently into the new millennium. Throughout the 38-year history of Palabora Mining Company, employees have shown a remarkable ingenuity in answering every problem with a new solution. The closing of the open pit marks the end of a great era in open-cast mining. But more importantly, it also signifies the beginning of a new challenge and a promising future ahead for the people of Palabora.